Please go.
All right. My first album would be The Weaker Thans, Reconstruction Site. I heard this record when I was like 16, and I think my favorite records tend to be the ones where I don't really get it at first, and maybe the voice is like a little bit annoying, or I can't really put my finger on what it is, but you like kind of keep going back to it, and all of a sudden you start realizing that it's like one of the best records you've heard. The guy, John K. Sampson, is just like one of the best lyricists and writers out there, and that's definitely a key record in my collection.
Say Exile on Main Street by the Rolling Stones, for sure. Even with the reissue that came out recently, that kind of spawned a newfound interest in the Rolling Stones as a band and like their whole story. And hearing that record and what went into it is kind of inspiring to me, for sure.
I really like the first self-titled Ramones record, just because that was kind of what I grew up listening to, and just like the way they did that in 2-3.5 hour sessions, back to back with I think one overdub for a chainsaw. I don't know. I've always liked that record. There's something urgent about it that excites me.
I'd say probably more recent record would be Dr. Dog, Fate. Been a big fan of them for a long time. This was kind of the first record that they kind of went out of the lo-fi sound, and literally every single song on it is incredible. It's definitely one of my favorite of the last few years.
Say the Beatles, Let It Be. I remember I was living in Ohio for a while, and I would record the radio onto a cassette tape because I didn't really have many friends, and NPR did the Let It Be Naked when it came out, and I remember sitting in my room recording that and just hearing without any of the strings or any kind of the extra orchestration they put on that record. It's very cool.
I bought that record with Andy at Best Buy like 10 years ago when it came out. Mine is going to be the new TV on the Radio record, which I think everybody, I've waited till my second time through, but Nine Shades of Light, it's, I don't know, once you listen to it, we were talking about it yesterday, it fits into so many different genres as far as what type of people can listen to it, and it does an amazing job at being the best at them all.
And it was totally overlooked.
Yeah.
Like every year Enlist missed it, and which is weird because they're usually like one of those, you know.
They have good press.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say probably, you know, a mix between the Blueprint and then the newest Kanye record. Those are like, you know, two pretty flawless, but very different hip-hop records. But yeah, that new Kanye record is probably one of my favorite albums of all time.
Neil Young, On the Beach. It's a record to keep going back to, and we didn't really discover Neil Young as like a catalog artist until a couple of years ago, and that was a record that stuck out as being one of his best, and the story behind it is great as well, and the sounds on that record I think are really natural and very, very cool.
It's always nice when you know that artists have this extensive catalog, but you never get into them, and then the minute that you like start to realize that they're badass, and you know there's over 40 records of
so much,
you know, not all good stuff by them, but most of it's, you know, pretty amazing.
I think this might be for all of us, Weezer, Pinkerton.
For sure.
If you've heard it, you know why. It was just a very bold record, and
yeah, I got that book for Christmas that is like the Pinkerton Diaries, and like, you know, it's kind of a record that's definitely mysterious. It's like you didn't really know the story, but you knew that, you know, it was kind of this hated album at first, and it's turned into this crazy thing over time. And yeah, knowing what went into that record for sure. All right, a weird pick, not normally on a list like this, but Ray LaMontagne, Until the Sun Turns Black. He's generally considered more of like an adult contemporary, kind of boring for old people music, but that record is a really dark album.
Cried many a time to that
Yeah,
record.
it's like a super bare guy made it in, you know, the woods kind of thing. Really heartbreaking record.
Is that 10?
I think that's 10.
That's 10. All right.
Done, son.
Done.
Sick.
Simple as that.
Love
Thanks
it.
very much.